This is like a 14,000 mile longer term update on the M2Cs. It's been a little while since I did that initial thoughts on the M2, and then I did another one after a few miles. We'll put a link up above here or in the description down below of those videos. Check them out to get my initial impression and see how that's differed from today's video. Hey, I'm Andy, a high-performance car enthusiast with a passion for well-engineered automobiles. I love to drive mountain roads with like-minded enthusiasts, along with sharing driving tips and techniques. So the first thing I want to touch on is the steering. And the steering overall is okay. In the comfort mode, which I'm in now, I tend to drive around in comfort mode when I'm around town. It's a little light. It's fine, but there's sometimes I turn the wheel and I'm not really sure what the front end is doing on the car. I think the Sport Plus is probably the best mode, although sometimes I feel that Sport Plus does a little too much artificial weighting. And the idea is like, oh, let's see, if we make it harder to steer, put some weight, it's gonna feel a little more, sporty. But what I really wanna do is I wanna feel what that front end is doing. I want to feel what those front tires are doing, and I'm just not getting that here. Again, not horrible, and just cruising around town at the speeds I'm driving, it's fine. But when you take it down into the mountains and you really get on it, the steering is just a little bit lacking. Now, of course, my point of reference is the RS and the McLaren 600 LT, so I'm not sure that I can quite compare that, but that's just where my head is at. So there we go, that's steering. Next, I want to touch on the brakes. So a couple things I love about the brakes is, number one, they're ceramic brakes. Little or no dust. I know that sounds like a so what, but that matters to me. So those I really like. I love the gold brake calipers, all definite pluses. The downside is at lower speeds, these brakes are like uber sensitive. There are times I feel I tap those brakes and it wants to put me like through the windshield. And that drives me nuts sometimes. So I have to be careful at lower speeds. Higher speeds and a little more aggressive driving, then I think they're fine. You can push on them, they're progressive, get a little bit more grippy as you go. But at slow speeds, and so let me quantify slow speeds, I'm gonna say in the under 30 miles an hour, like low, like when you're cruising around your neighborhood or just moving around in a parking lot, they're like super touchy. I don't like that. But on the higher end, they're fine. Everything else about them works out just fine. Let's talk about the manual transmission next. I know a lot of folks out there like to go to, change some of the stuff on the transmission, maybe reduce some of the length of the throws and whatnot. I guess I'm just not that sensitive to it, so it doesn't bug me. I think it's fine. I don't have any issues. The clutch, once you find out where that release point is of the clutch, that all works for me. So I have no qualms with the 6-speed transmission. I don't have the dual clutch. I have the 6-speed transmission and the clutch. I think it works just fine. So in concert with that, let's talk about the throttle. Most of the time I am driving in Sport, not Sport Plus, but Sport. And so a little bit more throttle response, and BMW's always done this, right? It's just a little bit more lively, a little bit more quicker reacting, I guess, to your inputs. And Sport Plus is similar. I like the feel of the gas pedal. It's not super sensitive. You can give it the juice and it goes. The turbocharged engine, again, likes to have the RPMs like most turbocharged engines, and even naturally aspirated wants to have the RPM a little bit higher, but I don't get any lag. And I don't get that turbo, at least for me, I don't feel that turbo boost where all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, it's just, it just like takes off on you. I haven't really sensed that. Maybe that's my driving style too. So let's move on to suspension. So this is the part I'm probably least thrilled with. Again, I drive in comfort setting, mainly around town. If I'm in the mountain roads, I will put it in Sport or Sport Plus, and that does help with the handling, but it just doesn't seem to hook up. It like doesn't want to hook up. And again, my reference is the RS or the LT. I get that's probably not the best comparison. And the car weighs what, 34? I think it's just under 3,400 pounds. So it's not like I'm trying to maneuver 3,800 or 4,000 pounds, but when I'm driving Spirited, I can just feel the weight. And maybe that has something to do with my driving style as well. And let me try to put some reference to that. Maybe I really have to drive this car hard. And I don't know that I've driven this car hard, meaning like super hard and getting, the rear end that it wants to step out, and maybe the front tires are squealing and, screeching on turn in. And maybe when I'm there, maybe I would get a feel for maybe it handles well. So I don't know, did that make any sense? I may have just been like, you're going, what the hell is he talking about? But maybe I'm not in the right spot trying to sense the handling of the car. Maybe I got to push it a little bit more. I don't know. It is definitely better in Sport Plus. Comfort, when I mean better in Sport Plus, I mean better from an handling, etc. The car's flatter. It's just better. Around town, I really enjoy driving in comfort mode, and this car has a really, nice drive over the line there. This car has a really compliant ride, and on this road here that I'm driving on and others, I mean, it's really smooth. That I do enjoy about the car, especially if I'm taking it on longer trips. I've driven on the highway, longer road trips. It's really comfortable. So overall, I would say from that standpoint, just dailing the car around town, the suspension is fine. Where I feel, I feel some roll. I don't feel as planted when I'm driving Spirited. Again, my point of reference may be too high, but hey, it's my car. It's what I feel. So general comfort, talk about suspension. So let's talk about the seats. I really like these seats. The side bolsters really grab you. I like this integrated headrest. I can sit back. I like sitting very upright. You'll see that in all my videos. I like sitting very upright. And the seats in this car are very comfortable. I have memory seats in here, but basically once you set it and forget it. I like the seating position. I like the seating feel. Long rides. I've been in this car 6+ hours. No qualms there on comfort. Let's talk a little bit about technology. Air conditioning works splendid. It's perfect. The air conditioning works really well. I've always liked BMWs where they have this little dial up at the top of the vents where you can control that upper air, especially in the winter when you have the heat on. You can get a little bit of cool air on your face. I really like that. And I even like it in the summertime, so if I feel like it's getting a little too cool, I can adjust the dial. AC works really well. Heated seats, I've used them in the winter. They work really fine. So that part I have no problem with. Radio controls, setting your favorites, all works just great. The area I'm having a little bit of, and I say a little bit, like 10% of the time, Apple CarPlay just doesn't want to connect. It says it's Apple CarPlay, you go to it, and then you hit the button, hit the little iDrive dial, nothing happens. It says Apple CarPlay, hit it, nothing. So what I have to do in those cases, I have to go into the iDrive, connect to the BMW Connected Drive, like get out of Apple CarPlay, go into BMW Connected Drive, then go back to Apple CarPlay, and voila, it works. I don't know, just a little quirk. I don't know if anybody else, do you guys that have these iDrive CarPlay things, do you guys have any issues there? Let me know. And the other thing that's a little wonky too from time to time is Waze. Waze can act a little goofy, meaning I get in the car, I try to connect to Waze, and Waze just says, like, you know, I can't find it, like, for example. I mean, just weird. What else do I want to talk about? Visibility, mirrors, perfect. Out the front, perfect. The one thing I really don't like, and you guys are going to probably laugh at me, is this bulge in the hood that they put on the CS. Yeah, like, not a big fan of that. Reliability, service, etc. Let's see, since I've had the car, I've done 2 oil changes so far, and I've rotated the tires, and that's it. I mean, that's all I've done. That's all that's needed. So the Remus exhaust and the Active Auto Works unequal length mid pipe, non-resonated, is good. I like it. I like it. Like you heard there, when I have it in a lower gear, rev it up and then let off the gas, I can get these little blips. Let me see if I can, maybe we can get that sound. Let me see if I... So if I go in 3rd gear, I gas and then I jump off the gas. Hear that? Like, right? Bmw M2Cs. It is a keeper. I will have this car for a while, I believe. You know, those of you that know me, you know how long I keep cars for, but I keep saying this is a keeper car, but oh gosh, I don't know if I even trust myself. Let me know if you have any questions for me about the M2Cs, or maybe another part of the car I haven't discussed that you want to know more about, or my thoughts about it. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know, and I'll come back. I'll do another video, give an update, or I'll give you an answer in the comments section. And if you have any questions about even the McLaren 600 LT, let me know. And as always, if you want to come out on one of our rides, you know, go to our website below, above, www.rsxperience.com. We have 2 remaining events. We have a September 22nd to 25th, and we have October 27th to 30th, which is going to be the leaves changing in the fall. It's going to be beautiful down there. If you can make one of those events, I would love to have you join us. All right, guys, you all have a good day. As always, stay healthy, stay safe, and stay tuned for some more videos.